In the previous episode of the Kaiserslautern Career Mode, we signed Sven Bender on a pre-contract deal to join us in the summer of 2022. An unexpected transfer offer of 8 million came in for Spalavis, and we chose to part ways with one of our original squad players. Despite a valiant effort, we were knocked out of the DFB Pokal in the quarterfinal. After 3 seasons, we finally managed to lift the league title with Kaiserslautern and gain promotion to the Bundesliga. Hey, what's going on, everyone? Flick here. Welcome back to another episode of our FIFA 20 FC Kaiserslautern Career Mode. We're now up to episode 7. And over the course of 3 seasons at what is now our 4th season, we battled our way back to the Bundesliga. Obviously, the fact that we're now in Germany's top league is super exciting, but it does come with its own set of challenges. Now that the quality of our opposition is significantly higher, I know we have a tough conquest ahead. If we look back at previous seasons, we can historically tell that newly promoted sides have struggled in their new league. With that said, I am extremely confident that we'll be able to survive the drop from the Bundesliga this season, and if we can make some sort of cup run and potentially qualify for Europe next season, that'd be even better. In case you were wondering, the Bundesliga pretty much has all the same teams that will be participating in the 2021 season IRL. The only difference is that we've replaced Bielefeld. I haven't really paid attention to board objectives in previous seasons. However, the updates that we have this year, in my opinion, are super exciting and pretty realistic as well. For youth development, this is a critical objective. We need to sign at least 3 players younger than 20 years old. Basically, their potential has to be greater than the average overall rating of players in that position. I don't think we'll have a problem with that because we only sign youth academy players that have a potential of 90+. It's also worth noting that over the course of 3 seasons, we need to look to sell off a couple of our youth academy players and make a profit margin of 13.6 million. Moving on to brand exposure, we need to sign one crucial first team player whose role is listed as a midfielder or forward position. And then again, within 3 seasons, we need to increase our season ticket sales. For the finances, we need to increase the club's worth by at least 75%. And this last board objective is really the only one I don't agree with. We have a low objective for our domestic success. However, this is always going to be an important objective for my personal progress in this career mode. The board's bar is set pretty low. All they want us to do is avoid relegation, and then within 2 seasons, we just need to finish mid-table. The squad has undergone a few changes since the end of last season, notably the arrival of Sven Bender. He'll be playing as our central center back, and the Bundesliga veteran will play a big role in making sure that we stay up this season. Just like we've done every season, we will be updating the icon stats for both Ballack and Klose, and now that we are in the Bundesliga, we can actually use Ballack and Klose's real stats. So we'll be giving Ballack his 86 baby icon stats. Klose will be receiving a similar boost to his statistics, a +8 to receive his 87 baby icon stats. I do realize that a +8 to the icon stats is a pretty big jump, but I've wanted to use the actual icon statistics for quite some time, and I think now that we are in the Bundesliga, it's the right time to do so. In terms of improvements to the squad and potential transfers I want to make, the left mid position is clearly the weakest link in our starting 11. Lux has played a big role in helping us reach the Bundesliga, and he'll still play a part in the squad. However, that will be as more of a rotational player, and we'll be looking to sign a higher overall left midfielder. Of course, if any other potential transfers catch my eye, I'll keep you all updated, and then we can make some moves in this summer transfer window. But before we do get into the transfers, if you are enjoying the content and want to support this Kaiserslautern series, a like on the video is always appreciated. Also, if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, you can do so at any point. The subscription button is located right under the video, and that'll help ensure you don't miss out on any of these Kaiserslautern videos or other uploads to the channel. And let's keep the conversation going after this video goes live. If anything stands out from this episode to you, or you just want to discuss things about the series, any potential transfers you think I should make, youth academy countries I should be sending my scouts to, just let me know in the comment section below. I read through every single comment, try to reply to as many of them as well. Up to this point, we have been saving up our funds. We've been selling off some key players and being very realistic with our transfers. Don't get me wrong, I'm still going to try to make fairly realistic moves. However, now that we're in the top league of Germany, I'm finally ready to splash the cash. The first player that we'll be looking to bring into this Kaiserslautern squad for season 4 is Robin Gosens. Of course, he's known for his playtime at Atalanta, and it actually looks like he will be departing the club here in the summer. At least he's been given permission to leave, and some big names have been submitting offers for him IRL. But he's playing for Sevilla in this career mode, and I also like this move because he's a fairly defensive left mid. He can play left back as well, and I think that complements Boom's more attacking playstyle on the right wing. Luckily for us, Gosens was available on a release clause of 10 million, significantly under his market value of 14.5 million. We signed him as a crucial first team player to a 3-year deal worth 41 grand a week. Our next transfer deal certainly wasn't expected, but I could not pass up on Sam Lammers. To be honest, I have never seen anybody use him in FIFA 20 career mode. He starts off the save at PSV. He's made the transfer to Montpellier, but looking at his statistics, I think he has such an interesting build. 4-star skill moves, a 5-star weak foot. He's more of a physical striker at 6 foot 269 pounds, and he's left-footed. Obviously, we're going to have Klose in our save at the right striker position, but the left striker position kind of is still up for grabs. Green played fairly well last season. Matt Whaler is rising through the ranks, but bringing in an 81 overall player would definitely help our chances this season. Just like Gozens, Lammers had a release clause under his market value. We picked him up for 19.7 million, whereas his market value is set to 22 million, and it was a 4-year deal, crucial first team player on wages of 60 grand a week. And of course, we can't go through a new season without reviewing the free agents tab. Last year we brought in Matt Whaler. He was super impressive, and now it looks like we found a very promising German free agent in Max Mikkel. For any of you that watched the series Dark on Netflix, I was immediately reminded of one of the main characters of that show, Mikkel. And yeah, he looks like a really good player, showing great potential. And then looking at his statistics, does have 5-star skill moves, a 4-star weak foot, 5'10", left-footed, medium low work rates. That all works for me. That's a pretty ideal build for FIFA 20. And then kind of similar to Whaler, he has really low shooting statistics, but that's kind of ideal because those statistics can easily be trained up through player training. But with 3 new players joining the squad, I do think it's important that we transfer list and let a few players depart. Both Fechner and Esmel will be leaving the club. I don't purely want to rely on transfers being the only way that we bring players into the squad, and because our youth academy is a critical part of our board objectives and kind of my future plans for this career mode, I do want to bring in a 5-star scout as our third and final scout. Obviously, 4.5 million is a lot to be spending on our youth academy, and it pretty much will deplete the rest of our budget, but I still think it's worth it, mostly because after we bring in this scout, we don't really need to focus on signing any new scouts. Maybe if we want to make upgrades later down the line, but I'm pretty happy with the scouts we have, and I think over time, it is the right move for this club. We always send our best scout to Germany, and they are going to continue looking for a physically strong player. Our 4-star scout is off to Australia looking for a physically strong player. I didn't have much luck in our previous scouting network, so I'm doubling up here. And our final 3-star scout is going to a new country in France, also looking for a physically strong player. But if you have any countries in mind that you'd like for me to send our scouts out to, make sure you drop that in the comment section below. Just like last year, we have 2 slots of player training set up. I don't really want to do more than 2 or 3 slots because if you spread out the growth across too many players, you just won't see significant progress. This first slot is basically going to first teamers that are still young enough to receive training, and the next slot is focused on the next generation of this Kaiserslautern squad, all in-game generated players, whether that be through our youth academy or through the free agents. Before we get into some games, we'll close out this segment of the Kaiserslautern career mode with the icon updates. Quite a few to get through at the start of season 4. Trezeguet is off to Juventus for 25.56 million. Crespo has joined Lazio for 62.49 million. Pires has joined Arsenal, the club that I think he's probably most known for, and that transfer fee was 10.78 million. Figo is off to Real Madrid for 66 million. And another Real Madrid transfer in Makalele, he joined for 15.4 million. Overmars is off to Barcelona for 44 million. And another Barcelona transfer in Petit, he has joined for 16.5 million. I think it's pretty cool to see some of these MLS transfers, especially the late 90s and early 2000s when the league was just beginning. Hernandez has joined LA Galaxy for an unknown fee. Baggio has arrived at Brescia on a free transfer. Our final icon update is Stoichkov, another MLS transfer here, as he has joined the Chicago Fire on an unknown fee. But with that said, let's get into some matches and begin our Bundesliga campaign with Kaiserslautern. After making improvements to the left mid and striker positions, this is what our starting 11 will look like for the vast majority of league matches this season. I think we still have some work to do in the long term, but we are definitely off to a good start, and to be fair, most of our lower rated players still have room to grow. We had some favorable scheduling for our first Bundesliga match, as we'll be taking on Freiburg, another side that will be trying to survive relegation. Right away, we'll witness a sequence of play that showcases the grit of Bender and his tenacity to win back possession for our attackers, setting them up with a prime opportunity. It's Lammers through on goal, trying to net his first goal. Unfortunately, that one does hit the post, but we're right back with a chance, and Schmitz decides to shoot this one first time. It's a good save from the Freiburg keeper. As we fast forward to the second half, I got a better idea of how to use Lammers in game. You really need to use his large stature and try to hold off the defenders as much as possible, as he nets his first goal with Kaiserslautern there, just shielding the ball away from the defender and showcasing a clinical finish. I'm still surprised we were able to pick Lammers up for as little as we did, as we pull off some nice passing play, and Klose is able to get on the score sheet, making it 2-0 for us in pretty much the 60th minute, giving us a good chance at picking up 3 points on the opening match day. But Freiburg fight right back, and in the 69th minute, they're able to get their opening goal of the Bundesliga campaign. However, I still thought we were playing well. We were still looking to get a third goal and not just sit back and try to hold on to a 2-1 lead, as this really should have been another opportunity for us to score. If we just took that chance first time, then it probably would have been a goal. But some nervy moments here in the 93rd minute. I'm not sure why Grill went out as far as he did there, but we get away with one there, as Freiburg could have easily equalized, but we will walk away with the full 3 points. A good performance from Lammers in his debut, and a good overall performance from the squad. We've been matched up against a few Bundesliga giants over the course of this career mode. However, this will be the first time we're taking on Dortmund, and it will be a chance for us to take on another icon in Jens Lehmann, currently 30 years old, playing for Dortmund, and he's at an 88 overall. But it wasn't an icon from the past that was causing us trouble in this fixture. Erling Braut Haaland sends in a dangerous cross, and unfortunately, we were unable to clear that chance, as Julian Brandt is basically gifted a goal. Dortmund are such a pressing side, and if you don't clear the chances away, they will punish you. It's an unnecessary goal to concede, but we'll just have to try to push on and try to score a goal of our own, as Gozens goes down this left wing and sets Klose up with a great opportunity. You kind of expect better from one of our top goal scorers, but another mistake here, as it's a tap in for Haaland. We should have done better with closing down the space on these Dortmund attacks. It's always going to be an uphill battle when you concede goals early against Dortmund, but some positive play here as Lammers holds off a defender and sets Schmitz up with a good opportunity. Unfortunately, he's not able to connect well. But finally here in the 39th minute, it will be some precise dribbling from Klose. He finds Bergman. Bergman lays it off to Lammers, and he will showcase that outside of the foot shot trait and put a chance by Lehmann, making it 2-1 and giving us some hope for this match. It seems like the left side of Dortmund's defense is their Achilles heel, as Boom bursts by the defenders and he sets Klose up with a great chance, kind of similar to the one that Schmitz had, except Klose will bury this one, and somehow we were level going into the halftime break despite being 2-0 down. The second half wasn't quite as eventful, but this is a fantastic cross sent in by Jadon Sancho. We somehow managed to get it cleared, and we're actually going to get a final chance of our own here in the 84th minute, as Boom is able to play this one through to Klose. We know that Bohm is a quick player, and again, it's the left side of Dortmund's defense that ends up costing him, and Timo Bohm once again steps up and scores a huge goal for us. He only has a 2-star weak foot, but time and time again, he shows that he is able to somehow put these chances away. That shot might not have had much power, but it had the accuracy, and it was enough to net us 3 points for this match. VfB Stuttgart are actually one of my favorite teams in Germany, and I'm happy to see they're back in the Bundesliga, but for this match, they were my rivals. I'm noticing a recurring trend where the majority of our attacks are originating from our right side, and that makes sense considering that our left midfield is a bit more defensive minded. But I want to find a way moving forward to switch things up and make sure our opponents are on their toes and we're not too predictable. But we nearly concede the first goal in this match. Luckily, Grill gets up and the ball sort of rebounds back to him. But again, it's Lammers who nets the first goal, and he's just an incredible player, guys. I'm so glad we picked him up. He has the strength and he offers something different that we haven't really had in this Kaiserslautern squad throughout the first 3 or 4 seasons. One goal is never enough though, especially when you're playing on these higher difficulties. By the way, we are playing on Legendary with adjusted sliders in this career mode. Maybe in a later episode or a live stream or something along that sorts, I'll showcase the sliders I do use because I feel like it makes career mode a little bit more enjoyable. But we did bring Pick on as a substitute, and he nearly nets a really nice goal. Unfortunately, this was inches wide of the post. And if I'm being honest, not finishing those couple of chances did end up costing us, as in the 86th minute, a nice ball is sent in and a very inviting cross is unfortunately unable to be stopped. Girl made a good opening save, but you can only do so much as a goalkeeper when your defense can't clear chances away and the ball rebounds straight back to the attacker. This will be our first single point that we pick up in the season. We've performed really well in these gameplay matches, but a point is still good. While a lot of emphasis this episode has gone towards the league, the Pokal is still an important competition to me, especially if we can go on a late run And if we manage to win this competition, we will qualify for the Europa League next season. Because we're in the Bundesliga, we received a bye in the first round and we defeated Union Berlin in round 2. But we have an interesting opponent in the third round as we match up against Würzburg Kickers, who I believe originally started this career mode in the 3rd division of Germany. And if Würzburg are in fact in the Dritte Liga, I think it showed early on in this match as an early mistake out of the back led to an interception from Ballack, and Klose is absolutely going to sell the defender. He thought he was going one way, ended up going the other way, and that is a clinical finish. But if our match against Stuttgart is any indication, we need to make sure we net a second goal, because you never know what might happen. But unfortunately, Klose's chance is saved well from the keeper. We tried taking it around him, but there's Siegmund popping up, one of our youth academy signings, and he played a big part in this goal. He won the header, found a good pass to Whaler, who eventually laid it off to Klose. And at this point we had a good lead, but unfortunately right after kickoff, it's a nice goal from Würzburg. The attacker took the chance really well, and there's not much that Graf could have done about that. It seems like Würzburg is one of those sides that just excel off of set pieces. They'll get a corner kick here. We're unable to close down the space, and this is some poor defending from me, to be completely honest. Again, I don't blame our goalkeeper for conceding that one. We just need to stay in front of the ball and not give them one-on-one opportunities. We've had some late heartbreaks in the Pokal throughout the years, but this time around we will get a third goal before getting into the 120th minute and forcing penalty kicks. Of course, it had to be Matt Whaler, who hasn't featured a whole lot for us this season ever since we made the signing of another striker, but I definitely think he can be a future first team player. You never know what will happen for our other strikers. Hopefully they all end up performing at a really high level, but we can rotate players around for sure. But a win here does mean that we're through to the quarterfinals of the Pokal, which we should be able to get into more in the next episode. Unlike previous seasons where we've struggled in the gameplay matches but still found ourselves in a favorable league position, it's not the case this year. Although we beat some top sides like Dortmund in the gameplay matches, we still find ourselves in the bottom half of the league table in 13th. Mind you, I'm not unhappy with where we are. I mean, our goal was to survive relegation, and it looks like we are on path for that. I should rephrase that. We are on path to not be relegated this season, as Union Berlin, Augsburg, and Köln have really struggled. There's a pretty significant gap in the Bundesliga this year in terms of points. If we look at the top end of the table, we have the likes of Bayern and Leverkusen in the 40s. Bayern has only lost a single match. But it does look like Klose is back to his usual ways of scoring goals, as he is currently the top goal scorer for us with 9 goals from 18 matches. Not a bad return there. And then our new signing, Lammers, with 4 goals from 19. Schmitz also 4 goals from 19. Moving over to the assist category, you can see Ballack. So these icon updates have really made a difference. I mean, they're in the upper 80s, so you would expect that. Ballack is by far the leader here with 6 assists from 19 matches. No complaints from me in the overall growth department. Our youth academy prospects are pretty much leading the way, as Siegmund has gone up +6 in just half a season. Really happy about that sort of growth. And if he continues at this sort of rate, he should be able to find himself into the starting 11 before the end of this career mode, realistically, within the next 2 seasons. I'll probably switch up the player training a little bit for the second half of season 4, most likely getting our goalkeepers involved because we didn't really train them in the first half in order to balance things out. But I think that will be it for this episode of the Kaiserslautern Career Mode. If you enjoyed today's episode, make sure you leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you are new around here. But until next time, this has been Flick. I'll be talking to you all again soon.